This song was actually birthed on piano. I bought a Yamaha U3 in November, and it was, for me, one of the best things I've ever bought in my entire life because it just expanded my compositional abilities. So this simple piano riff was one of the very first things I ever wrote, and I just really liked it because it kind of had this moody, atmospheric vibe to it. And where I started getting really creative with the piano was, this was a new experiment for me where I had never mic'd a piano before, ever. And first few attempts at it, it was just, I was awful at it. You know, it's a whole different ballgame. Pianos are really hard to record. And what I ended up settling on was taking all the panels off the front of the piano, and then I had the felt down because I just prefer the sound of a muted piano. So then I mic'd just each hand pretty much, or the range of each hand on the felt itself. And what ended up happening is then when you pan both the hands left and right, you're picking up all the hammers and all the attacks and actually the sound of the felt itself, the sound of the hammer hitting the felt in these like high-end transients that you don't hear in a piano. So on its own, it sounds like this. There's a pretty high boost on the high end just to bring out the attacks of the hammers. And it's at 12K, it's about 6 dB. I'm also scooping out a fair amount of the low mids, a little bit of the mid-mids and a little bit of the high mids. But then we also have compression going on, once again using the arouser, and it's not heavy compression, you know, we're usually around 3 dB of reduction, tickling 5 on occasion. What I've also done with the piano is there are different piano tracks, usually for the same exact thing, but they're different EQ settings. And as the track itself gets bigger and bigger, you can't have the piano taking out the same amount of space. So if we go to this section here, which now we're in the second verse, there's a lot more going on than the first verse, which is very stripped back. So this piano, it's the same performance, very different EQ setting. So then when it goes back to this pre-chorus section, all the low end we took out to make room for the other low end in the verse now comes back in, so that way it fleshes out the arrangement again. But you don't miss it in the verse. And that is a way for really just to keep cohesion in the level of, keep cohesion in the frequency dynamic of the song, as well as excitement, the emotional impact of it. Also underneath the piano, and this is pretty minor, but I have a pad, and it is just this. It was made from the piano, this pad, and it's just the piano through GRM Tools Evolution. So just as an example, so we take this piano, go into GRM Tools, Evolution, and this is pretty much exactly how I did it. So I just used Audio Suite, and I preview it, and then I hit the Evolution button, and it freezes the sound. I stretched it out pretty far, and then I pitch shifted it up an octave.